Okay. It's almost 11 o'clock on a Monday night. Got flag football tomorrow. And I put this shit off for long enough. I've been kind of spending my time trying to gather and kind of retrain my thoughts on what the hell just happened. Now, I'm going to find this video very ironic if a shitload of Colts fans come crawling out from underneath the rocks like they did last year thinking they was going to beat us because they beat us this time. And my only answer to that is, where the hell were you guys at last year when we throttled the shit out of you before we went to the AFC Championship? You guys were nowhere to be found. So if you want to pop up, now that you got a shit-ass victory on a Sunday night, and yeah, I call it a shit-ass victory. You want to know why? This is why. This is the goddamn injury list. That what I witnessed was a fucking preseason game. That's what I witnessed. Yeah, I'm irritated. I am. I'm irritated. I won't hide that fact. I'm sure you can tell that by now. But I literally watched a preseason game. As this game went on, I don't know if the Colts are just a dirty-ass goddamn team and they had, they felt like they needed to prove something from last year, or if our guys just didn't prepare with a shit for this game. I don't know which one it is. Hell, for all I know, it could be a combination of the both. But there was a lot of injuries that I seen that had nothing to do with the Colts. They just hurt themselves. So before I even start this list, coming into the third quarter, this isn't even the end of the game, but this ended up being the final injury list. By the third quarter, we had 3 D linemen that were out, 2 O linemen that were out, a linebacker, a quarterback that was hobbling because he got stepped on by his own guy, 2 wide receivers, 2 cornerbacks, and 2 running backs. That is 13 out of 22 starters. 13. 12 if you don't count Mahomes, but the guy was crippled as shit, so you can't expect him to do much anyways. Our third string receiver is now our first receiver, and there's guys that are being pulled from the bench that shouldn't even be in the game. But that's not really the problem. As weird as it sounds, the offense, as soon as, who was it? As soon as Andrew Wiley went down, everything went to shit. Everything went to shit on that offensive line. Everything went to shit. And yeah, I get it. The Colts had a beat-up secondary. But they sure as hell wasn't missing 13 out of 22 guys. They sure as hell wasn't missing that. That is over half of your starting lineup that is gone. Over half. You are playing a crippled-ass football team, dude. That is no better. That is no better than the Oakland Raiders going out and beating the last 2 teams that had backup quarterbacks. It's no different. It's no different. They beat a Bears team without Mitchell Trubisky. And who the hell did they beat last week? They beat somebody else that didn't have a starter either. Or did they have a starter? Shit, I can't remember. Who cares? Who cares? It's the Raiders. They finally won 2 games, let alone in a row. So let them have their moment. But, do I think the Colts offense played pretty decent? Yeah, I do. Our defense couldn't tackle worth a shit. But Jesus Christ, when you're missing 3/4 of your D-line, I'm sure the running game is going to, or the run defense is going to be ass. I'm sure of it. Injuries, dude. Injuries have literally dismantled this team to a point to where even Mahomes can't help them. That guy did everything possible to keep this game going. I'm just glad they got this bullshit out of the way in the early part of the season instead of late in the season. All these injuries don't seem to be that serious, but Jesus Christ, there's a lot of them. 13 out of your 22 guys. That is ridiculous, man. They're all starters, every last one of them. After Shady got down there and fumbled that ball, that's another thing. They can't seem to hang on to the ball worth a shit. You know what? I like Shady, but if he can't hang on to the goddamn ball, if these receivers can't hang on to the goddamn ball, get their ass out and put somebody in that's going to play. I mean, Byron Pringle, that dude's been tearing it up, and he was an undrafted. Byron Pringle is a damn good receiver. Travis Kelce wasn't himself. Patrick Mahomes was still missing throws. And a lot of it had to do with he was just getting harassed. They put Cam Irving on Justin Houston. Why the hell would you do that, man? That is so stupid. That is utterly stupid. Cam Irving isn't the worst O-lineman in the world, but he sure as hell can't handle Justin Houston. There's no reason why he should be on him. None. So we got backed up. Other than the run defense, the defense played somewhat decent for what they had. Brashad Breeland, he had that one incident where he ran into that guy. But other than that, he was holding on to the dude all night. Come to find out, he had an injured foot. So he couldn't keep up with the dude. He couldn't keep up with T.Y. Hilton, so he just kept holding him. And I'm not making excuses here. An L's an L. It is what it is. You live and you move on. But I'm just simply saying this for, all the people that were like, oh man, the Colts are missing 3 guys out of their secondary. Yeah, try 13. And how many of these guys are on defense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys were on defense. Out of an 11-man defensive squad. 6 of them were gone. So if you want to talk about beat-up-ass football teams, this is one of them. This is one of them. I could give 2 less shits about the Colts missing 3 guys in the secondary. We had 6 guys gone. We had double that on our defense. It's ridiculous, man. The injuries are, from the second this game started, it started off like any other Sunday, really, for Kansas City. And then the injuries started pouring in, and I just knew we were going to lose this game. After a while of watching your football team, you can tell after a while of a game going on, you just kind of sit there and you're like, yeah, man, they're going to lose this game because they're just not playing right. They looked like they didn't prepare for these guys at all. Andy Reid barely ran the damn football. I know he wanted to pass it a lot because of the beat-up secondary that the Colts had. But holy shit, look what we got. I mean, their run defense was last in the league. Run the damn football. You finally got Damian Williams back, who was hurt, but he played. He still had a bummed-out knee, but he played. And then as the game went on, he kind of tapered off. And at one point, I think they passed it like 8 times in a row or something like that, and none of them worked. There's one guy, Justin Houston, played good. I personally, we gave him the mismatch, and he capitalized on it. That's all you can say about that. At one point, he drove Cam Irving back so far, he stepped on Pat's leg, and it just so happened to be the leg that was hurt last week. He recovered from it, and now they're saying it's minor. He had a 320-pound man step on his leg. He's not going to recover from that very easily. When they started getting the pressure that they did, we should have ran the damn football. We lost this game by 6 points. 6 points. You could have ran the damn ball. That's the thing. You could have ran it. At no point in time should we have felt like, hey man, we just gotta throw it all over the place. This team scored what? 3 points all second half? The defense gave up 3 points all second half. Dude, that's on the offense, man. You know, I've given the offense a lot of credit when they pulled their weight and the defense didn't. Well, this shit's on the offense. It's clearly on the offense. The defense did their job. They only gave up 3 points the entire second half. There's no goddamn reason why we shouldn't have at least scored 3. It's just, well, we did. We scored 3 in the, or no, it was, yeah, it was 19-13 was the final score. So we scored 3 in the second half. Just an all-out collapse, man. I mean, like I said, I think the only people that really prepared for this game was the defense. I really do. The offense was just atrocious, man. And then when Andrew Wiley went out and Cam Irving had to take his place, it was just a total damn collapse. Total nightmare. Chris Jones pulled his groin right after the second half. Or right before it, somewhere around there. I couldn't even keep track of all the injuries. Sammy Watkins, he probably got hurt coming out of the fucking tunnel. Which, I know, language barrier, whatever. It's just frustrating, man. You get a guy like Sammy Watkins that tears it up in the first game of the season, and the guy just cannot stay healthy. In my personal opinion, let his ass go and let one of these other guys like Pringle or somebody that's actually going to put his effort into the field, let him play. Which, by the way, Pringle's looking pretty damn good right now. I give Houston credit. I give the Colts defense credit. They played pretty good. I mean, that was the first time I ever seen that offense get put down like that. And it was because of the pass rush, 100%. They pretty much harassed Mahomes that whole second half, and there was just nothing he could do about it. Jacoby Brissett, I'll give the guy credit. He said he was going to do something. He said that everybody was doubting him. And I agree with that. Everybody in the booth doubted him. Everybody, they did. Everybody doubted him, and he came out and proved them wrong. God, what else is there to say about this shit, man? I'm not gonna say that this game necessarily hurt. It just pisses you off the way the whole thing went down. You get that many injuries, and you get to a point where you're literally playing with a second string. Hell, the only thing that really wasn't beat up was our secondary. Everybody else was beat to shit. The D-line, the linebackers, all of them. All the rest of them were just completely torn down. It is what it is. You move on. You're still a game ahead of everybody. Hopefully some of these guys straighten up, because I'll tell you what, we got a hell of a lot tougher opponent next week. Houston is nobody to screw with. I mean, they're going to have to recover from these injuries to beat Houston. Or at least prepare. That's what shocked me the most. They didn't even look like they was ready for this goddamn team. And I don't think it was because they necessarily didn't know what they was doing. They just, due to the injuries and the timing and all that shit that was off, they just didn't prepare. They didn't prepare right. They weren't ready. They weren't ready to play a football game. In the NFL, you can play somewhat of a bad team, and if you just got better talent and you didn't prepare with a crap, most of the time you can sneak out with that. But if you're playing an average team or above average team, and you come in and you don't prepare with a shit, this is the result. You get beat miserably, and you look stupid doing it. There's no reason why they should have lost that game, but they did. And that's what it boils down to. And it's all this shit's in the past now. It's not about the Colts game anymore. It's everything past that. And I'm going to tell you right now, the teams are going to get a whole hell of a lot harder. This shit here, this is a collapse. This is a total team collapse. I do think the defense played pretty damn well, honestly. But this is a total team collapse. That shit that happened down there in Dallas with Green Bay, that was a goddamn blowout. I don't care what anybody says, that's just an ass whooping. They scored some touchdowns in garbage time, made it look a little bit closer, but you get what I'm saying. The only advantage that I could see to this game is it's got me more fired up for my game tomorrow. It just sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks to, lose to a team. I mean, think about it this way. The Raiders stomped the shit out of this team. And they scored, 2 more points than they did against us than they did Oakland. So what does that tell you? Our defense prepared, our offense didn't. Plain and simple. And then you add in the injuries, and you got guys like Cam Irving that get thrown into a spot that they're not supposed to be. It just makes it that much worse because he's not ready for his own position. He's not going to be ready for another one. But yeah, this shit's got to get fixed before we play Houston, or we're going to get the shit kicked out of us. Like I said, I'm a diehard fan, but I am a brutally honest one. Houston is going to beat the holy dog shit out of us if we go in there playing like this. Whether or not the Colts and the Texans beat each other in that division, I'm not concerned about that. But I do know they will beat the holy dog shit out of us if we go in there limping like this. There's really not much more to say other than that. Just I look at the injury list and it's ridiculous. I mean, hell, Sammy Watkins has 2 injuries now. His shoulder's bothering him and his hamstring now. And the weird thing about this is 90% of these, about 75% of these, are ankle or groin, which is just weird as shit. Or it has something to do with the foot. Groin, hamstring, shoulder, ankle, hip, toe, foot, ankle, shoulder, hamstring, knee, ankle, chest, groin. Xavier Williams was the only weird, Andrew Wiley was the only weird one with a chest injury. So what that tells me, cramps. They weren't ready. Something. They didn't condition right or something because their legs gave out on them. So, if I see a bunch of Colts fans that come back and they're the same ones from last year, where were you at when you guys got the shit kicked out of you? Because I was looking for you and there wasn't a damn one of you there. But if y'all want to come back now, I'll give you credit. You won the game. I'm a damn firm believer that y'all won it on basically a preseason game. But that's no excuse. A win's a win. And I'll give you that. But I sure as hell ain't going to crown your ass for it because judging by this here, the injury list, and the way we played, y'all should have blown us the fuck out. You really should have. You should have blown us out. But you didn't. So, on that ending note, I I need to get going with my picks because I know I didn't do worth a shit this week. And, if y'all don't like language, I'm not sorry that you're offended. But you know what? It is what it is. Frustration hits, and that's about the end of it. Everybody has their moment, and this shit was just really frustrating. There's no reason, no goddamn reason you should go into a football game and lose 6 more guys than what you already had out. There's no reason for that. There was missed opportunities. There was overthrows. There was guys open and Pat overthrew them. Like I said, that's all credit to the Colts D line because they bum rushed the shit out of him. I mean, they took advantage of the injuries and they straight up bum rushed him, and he threw shit when he didn't want to. I remember there was a wide open touchdown down the sideline, and the dude straight up he threw it too far. Mahomes threw it too far. The guy couldn't catch up to it. I want to say that was Robinson too. It was either Robinson or Pringle. Either way, it sucks, but you move on. The Colts game is in the past. We can't do anything about it. What we can do is prepare for Houston and try to beat Houston. That's the main goal now. That's the main goal. If you can't move on and you can't beat teams, well, you ain't going to make it in this league. We got off to a really good start in the division. Don't screw that up. I mean, if you get behind now, you're going to be fighting that shit for the rest of the season. And Oakland is now somewhat starting to pull their head out of their ass and play like a football team. Not concerned about Denver, not concerned about the Chargers. It's Oakland I'm concerned about. And that was my prediction at the beginning of the season. They got off to a rocky start, but they are starting to play more consistent now. Whether they're going to do that down the home stretch, the hell if I know. They almost blew it in Chicago this week. And I'll be honest with you, I think the refs were trying to take it from them. Because there was some whack-ass calls in that game that shouldn't have been made. Anyways, Oakland won the game anyways, which I think is what should have happened. But I'm going to get on to these picks.